What's going on, guys? Kai Chen Chisholm here for 5 Reasons Sports Network, and today we're going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins and more specifically Tua Tagovailoa. And I know everyone already is up in arms that Tua isn't starting this weekend, and I think when we really dive into it, it just all comes down to when is the appropriate time, right? When is the appropriate time to get Tua in the game? When's the appropriate time to have him finally play? And I think that if we see a bad game against the 49ers, the appropriate time might come. I mean, you had the conversation finally, Brian Flores acknowledging that they were going to talk about it. The next day, the Dolphins Twitter put it up there so that everyone could see Ryan Fitzpatrick will be the starter. And then it came down to he's not ready yet is what he's saying. You know, he wants to protect him like he's his own son. And how would you have that situation go down? When is the right time to really put him out there? And I think that they feel like right now is just not the time. You know, next week's game will be the game against the Broncos rather than putting him out there against the Niners. For whatever reason, who knows? Brian Flores makes his decisions, and I think that although it might frustrate some of us, especially with those that want to see Tua so bad, again, it's just going back to let's wait it out. As hard as it is, and as much as it hurts to see Ryan Fitzpatrick, drop back and put his entire body into those throws, as much as it is like him throwing the interceptions, I mean, you watch him take his 3-step drop, and as he's throwing, you see he's like literally throwing his entire body. Obviously, it's not like a great representation, but he's throwing his entire body into those throws, and they're becoming inaccurate. He's missing open wide receivers down the field. Most notably, Mike Gesicki is one of them. There needs to obviously be a change. It just depends on when's the right time to make the change and when's the right time to really put your all into it and making sure that you have Tua in a position where he's going to win. Ultimately, you want him to be in a position where he's going to win and he's going to want to be ready, not just put him out there because the media wants him. This then puts you in the position where you're saying, okay, well, when is the time? Right, again, back to the same question. When is the time? It's going to have to be after the Niners game. It has to. You can't right now obviously put him in. Ryan Fitzpatrick was named the starter, but if they play bad against the Niners, you think that you have to put him in against the Broncos. Maybe he continues to wait. Maybe Brian Flores sticks with his guns and says, no, we're waiting. He's not ready yet. We're not putting him in, and they don't. But it feels like that's coming, because you don't bring it up in the media that you're going to talk about it. Every other week it's been, we're putting him in, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Then he said, we presume it's going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick. Then he said, we'll have to talk with the coaches. And then the official Dolphins Twitter put out that tweet. So my personal opinion, I think you put him in against the Broncos. I think we all know that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to have a bad game against the 49ers. We don't want it to be. We want to win that game no matter what. Always want to win that game. But it's probably inevitable that he's going to have a bad game. And when he does have that bad game, it puts you in the position where Tua might have to start. And I think we have to take away from Burrow and Herbert and how they've looked and just be like, okay, as we've said multiple times, it's not a one-year thing. It's a 2-year to 3-year rebuild. It's only been 1 year. This is year 2. Year 3 is when you really want to see those strides next year. We're not a playoff team. We're not going to be contending for the playoffs. But right now is a really easy run for the Dolphins. So maybe if you put Tua in, maybe he can get some wins. Maybe it makes you kind of better, and it continues to show, okay, Miami's not just tanking. They're not just bad. It's getting there, right? So, again, I think it's going to have to be against the Broncos. You have to put him in against the Broncos if Ryan Fitzpatrick has another bad game against the 49ers, which we're all assuming when they play the 49ers this weekend, he's going to have a bad game. We hope not, right? We're all hoping that he doesn't have a bad game, but I think we all know deep down inside it's most likely going to happen. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Of course, this is a very huge debate and topic within Dolphins Twitter, but when do you think is the appropriate time to put Tua in now? Do you want him, to put Tua in? When do you think the appropriate time to put Tua in is? Do you think it has to be, were you one of those that thought has to be this week against the 49ers? Or maybe you want him against the Broncos. Maybe you put him against the Chargers. When do you think is the appropriate time to get Tua out there so we can really see kind of like what he's about? So let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Again, this has been Kai Chen Chisholm. If you can, please follow me on Twitter. It'll be down below in the description, as well as my own YouTube. And I will see you guys in a prediction video that will come out later on in the weekend.